Hello, everybody, and welcome to the No Zone. It is Friday Night Contact. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. And there we go. We've got my co-host in with me. Okay, yes. So we've got some Disney Star Wars news. We've got some Rings of Power news. And also PD Rich has some news for us as well. I seen this statement put out earlier on, and I'm going to get PD to actually be the one to read out the statement and to give his opinion on it. But we've got some gaming news as well, and we've got other little bits and bobs to get through. Now, remember, we will be finished before 10 o'clock tonight because I am streaming over on the other channel at 10. Because it's a transfer deadline day, and everybody's saying the audio is fantastic. That's great. About time. I'm using the other AirPods, so maybe they'll work a little bit better than the last ones. But let's bring on my co-host, who's joining me this evening. It's the one and only PD Rich. Now, I did send the link to Lee, but as you know, he has been a little bit under the weather. He hasn't got back in touch with me, but I have let him know that the link is there if he does feel up to it. But it's probably just going to be myself and Mr. Rich. And I think you can start off the conversation tonight with that statement and let everybody know what I'm actually talking about. So there's some news in the gaming industry, and it's very big news at that as well today. And I mean, if you see his name, you will actually see what he's actually about to talk about. So, PD, let everybody know what has happened, because I have seen actually the tweets from 2022 where people are bragging about this and calling Saints Row fans fake because obviously the game was getting rebooted, and obviously the reboot hasn't worked out. Because tell everybody what's happened, PD.
Well, Volition Studios has now gone. Closed down effective immediately by the parent company. It's now a case of get woke, go broke, I think.
Do you want to read the statement there, PD?
Yeah, let's see if I can bring it up. If I can bring up the copy on my end.
Yeah, you just read it there. You don't need to throw it up on screen, because if we do that, everything will go haywire. But,
I know. Okay, then. Volitions. 30 years of making games. There are only a handful of studios in the industry that have been around 30 years. But not more than that, a lot longer than they've been around. And we took a lot of pride over Volition being one of them. Volition has been around long enough for some folks that some folks forget what we made. But they certainly know our games. References, refrains such as Volition made Descent, Volition made 3 Days, Volition made Summoner RPG. That with that hilarious video. I can't remember the video. I was never into Summoner personally. Are not uncommon. Sometimes it's easy to remember that the game's more than the studio, but that built them. Especially for those that have just been around as long as we have. But all good things must come to an end. And so it was Volition. After 30 years, Volition has closed, and we wanted to say a few final words. I'd rather just keep their mouth shut personally after what's happened. To start, we know we wouldn't be a studio without the people in it. Yeah, that you've all just put on the bread cube, yeah. Well, it may sound cliched, as those who have worked for Volition can attest. God, the wording of this is terrible. It truly is a huge family. Volition started with a team that had a vision for how to make the kind of games others couldn't, and infuse the. Oh God, this has been written by a woke-tard. Infuse that confidence that through the entire company. We assembled an incredibly talented group of artists, storytellers, and creators who are now on the job queue. who together built a culture that attracted top quality people who truly cared for each other. Time progressed, people naturally came and went, and very often returned again and then got kicked out. But the people were always what made Volition truly special. Do all developers feel the same? We know they do. But in this case, we truly was a unique culture. You can say that again, of people that cared about each other like family. Yeah, more like the Democrats. Combined with the will to create some of the most unique games ever created. Thank you so much to every Volitionite who had ever worked there. You are all what made this the magical place it was to work at. And we
now you're all working in McDonald's.
Yeah, no, they were working at McDonald's. Enjoy your jobs. And we can never say enough about how much you have meant to us over the 30 years. Oh, yeah, by recent crap games that you knew you were going to fail. Beyond the development family, we also wouldn't have a studio without our extended family, our community, that you alienated. For 30 years now, you have played our games. Sometimes you've loved them. Sometimes you've been disappointed. Very, 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 very disappointed by them. But you've always been there until you kicked us out. We can speak for everyone who has worked at Volition when we say all the hard work and sacrifices we've put into these games have been for you. Well, yeah, sacrificing the company. Over this many years, we have enjoyed working on an extremely diverse series of games. And so many of you have come along for the ride. Actually, most of us got off that bus. We can't thank you enough for sticking with us throughout all the times. The very vocal minority on Twitter. We've loved your enthusiasm every step of the way. That's why you attacked us on Twitter, which is now called X. Even those times when you wished we had or hadn't, yes, we definitely wish you hadn't, gone a certain way with Saints Row or Red Faction or Descent. Well, yeah, Red Faction.
Oh, so they're actually admitting.
Yeah, they're admitting failure. Now they've destroyed their studio.
Right, so, right.
Oh, here we go. A little bit more to go. A little bit more to go. You are why we kept making games, and those of us that have been part of the Volition family will be eternally grateful. Farewell. Jesus Christ, what hypocrisy.
Right. Let's get serious here because we've had a good laugh.
Oh, yeah.
State, right? But let's get serious. PD, why is the reason that this studio is closing down?
Well, there's two reasons really. There's one that the funding's dried up, like usual, and they're not producing good enough gaming for everyone to buy, so the people aren't buying the games anymore. And two, they really decided to reboot Saints Row and make it fucking woke. Pardon my language.
So you see, there has to be a lesson learned here. How many companies, how many studios need to fall before people realize that this agenda is actually ruining the entertainment industry? Now, I know we're having a laugh and stuff like that, and maybe over the years some of the staff haven't conducted themselves very well because they went down a certain route, but they are out of a job.
Yeah, sad really, but
at the end of the day, it is sad. You know, it's good at, but you've seen it. It's infiltrated the gaming industry. It's infiltrated entertainment, movies, TV shows, even music now. When are they going to learn? Because it's not looking too good for Disney either.
No.
And it brings us into a nice little segue, because people were talking about Disney in the chat. But before we actually do it, let's give the few shout outs as we always do here. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got Scottish Stavros of Friends Wrestle with Pop Culture. Nicholas Horton is also in the chat. Nice to see you, mate. We've got Garbage in the chat as well. Nice one, mate. There's a lot going on tonight, so people will start floating in. They probably don't realize I've started 15 minutes early, so a lot of people will start coming in by 9 o'clock. Some of the other usual faces. But Disney, yeah, let's get into Disney. So, Ahsoka is in a flop. And why is it another flop? Well, the viewing figures for the last 6 days have been released.
Oh yeah.
And it's gotten the latest new Star Wars series, Ahsoka, finally hit screens with 1.2 million US households watching over the first 6 days. This is similar to viewership of Andor's premiere season and slightly lower than The Mandalorian's third season premiere over the first 6 days. So Gary kind of calculated it on Neurotics, and shout out to Gary.
Yep.
He said
well.
that's about 200,000 views a day. That's absolutely pathetic. Then this came out, and I was like, so it's just after having the worst ratings, and then this news came out. Ahsoka might fix the sequel trilogy the way the Clone Wars fixed the prequels. Now I'm just gonna say, right, I'm not a Star Wars fan.
No, I went off in 2005.
But every Disney Plus show that they've done is gonna fix the sequel trilogy.
Never does.
And they never do. So how many times are the media gonna regurgitate the same rubbish? But PD, I mean, they've got another flop.
Yeah.
They've got an actress in Rachel Ziegler who's doing everything in her power to tank the Snow White movie. They've got Marvels. The Marvels coming out soon as well, don't they? That's going to tank.
Yeah, that's a dead failure.
I mean, where did Disney go from here?
There's no way back because they've just alienated their fan base so much now. No, they're just gone. That's it. Nobody wants to touch them. They're radioactive. Their franchise are radioactive. That's it.
The brand has been damaged badly. I mean, even when they put out half decent stuff, nobody's bothering to watch or view because of the last few years.
Yeah.
Garbage has said there, though, I haven't seen Ahsoka. I've only watched reviews. It sounds boring, slow, and the Force is female. I always go for I will watch, make my own decision, but I just can't bring myself to watch it.
No.
Nicholas Horton says the prequel trilogy is still a gem compared to the sequel trilogy. I think we'd all agree with that.
Totally.
Even though, like, I don't like the prequel trilogy either.
Oh, I love Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That was the best one. Best of the trilogy.
Everything is going woke and poorly written, and they still make another one each year.
Yeah.
Garbage, it's insanity at this stage. What can you say? Garbage wants to know what's going on with Rey Star Wars movie. Why? I don't know. I don't even know why they're even going down that route. But it just goes to show you that they've run out of ideas. None of these shows are going to fix a sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Right? It's just as simple as that. I'm sick of people just regurgitating the same crap over and over again. Look, it's not happening. Just like Kathleen Kennedy is not leaving until Kathleen Kennedy is ready to leave, or her contract is up.
She'll be leaving a coffin the way she's going.
So then everybody that's been saying that she's leaving will take credit for it next year, even though they've been talking bullshit this whole time. But they'll be elevated up and everybody be blowing smoke up their ass. But however, that's just the way it is, isn't it? So let's I want to get into this because two legends of the music industry, Alice Cooper and we had Carlos Santana, had come out to criticize the cult, the Alphabet Cult. But unfortunately, Carlos Santana quickly apologized for his comments. But Alice Cooper
didn't,
and he had been dropped from Vampire Cosmetics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vampire Cosmetics have cancelled Alice Cooper, which means obviously they had to deal with him. He's gone because he said the transgender ideology aimed at children is wrong. And
Sure. Amen to that.
this is the thing that annoys me about Carlos Santana, though. You're a multi-millionaire, mate. I mean, even if you were cancelled, like, you've had a great career and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But Alice Cooper stuck to his guns. But I have noticed, PD, that slowly but surely there are people speaking up, especially celebrities, are starting to speak up against it. It seems to be going in that direction. This is a very good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant sign. I have to say, I've been a fan of Alice Cooper for years. I think one of my first real rock concerts I saw, real heavy metal concert I saw was Alice Cooper back on the, what is it? Oh, what's it? It wasn't the Dragontown. It was the one back on the Brutal Planet tour. One of the best shows I've seen in my life. The guy's a real showman. I've supported him. I think the last time I saw him was at the Roundhouse for the Theatre of Death tour. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Alice, and I think he's done the right thing. I mean, he's been getting in the neck anyway because he plays with Johnny Depp in Hollywood Vampires. He called all the names on the side because he just doesn't care. He's just going to do it. No one's going to hurt him. He's got a new album coming out. And he's pretty much. I think he just made the BBC album charts with it actually, and he's just laughing about it.
I mean, it is. I find it actually disgraceful that nowadays, if you have a certain opinion, you're okay, but if you have an opposite opinion to a small minority, you're losing your career. It makes no sense. So you're basically telling people, look, if you don't fall in line with us, well then, you're going to be labelled and you're going to lose your livelihood. I mean, this is what the bad Germans used to do.
Exactly.
I mean, these people don't realise how ironic all of this is. It's history repeating itself. Like, you don't understand what you're doing.
I mean, someone else said that it's history repeating themselves, and what happened? They got cancelled by Disney. Gina.
And then the actress that's playing Snow White sent her fans to
attack her,
go after, and then talks about tolerance and be kind a few weeks ago. Yeah. Hypocrites.
I mean, I was looking at some wokies on this whole Saints Row thing earlier. They're almost denying it's happening. It's happening in front of their eyes. Everyone's going, they talk about Peter attacking the fans, doing all this. The Saints Row the remake crashing and everything and being unplayable when it was first released. And they're like, no, it wasn't. You've got it wrong. Let's see some evidence. And it's like, yeah, Jesus, you do see evidence. Just look at the Steam sales on it. There's evidence enough, and the very bad reviews of it. It's ridiculous. They'll deny it. They'll deny the truth. They live in fantasy land. This is a problem. You live in a fantasy land. You're going to make fantasy land mistakes. In other words, big ones.
Nicholas Horton says these wokies will eventually crash and burn, but we've been saying that since 2016, mate.
Yeah, when they crash and burn, they'll pretend everything's all right and everything's normal.
Normally, these fads that Hollywood have come and go, right?
Yeah.
This one hasn't just come and go. It's hung around. These people have infiltrated the industry.
Oh, yeah.
They've infiltrated our schools, educational system. They've infiltrated everywhere. Politics.
Yeah.
Right? It's not. This isn't. You say it's eventually going to crack. Yeah, it probably will, and you're absolutely right. But it's not going to be anytime soon. And in the meantime, they're going to do a lot of damage to a lot of people's lives.
But the problem is, what the repercussions going to be in 5-10 years' time? Are these people going to be put in? They can bring back the sanitarians and start putting these people in, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, you're just as bad as those the naughty Germans. Oh, putting people into camps." So what will already happen? Because they can't continue. I mean, they're just insane. They're living in fantasy land, as I said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Disney is in the situation that it's in anyway, because, as we keep saying, nobody is against diversity and inclusion.
No.
Right? I mean,
not if it's done right. Not if it's done right.
For example, you've got your one playing Snow White, Rachel Ziegler, right? You mean to tell me that there are no Latina writers out there that have created stories
Yeah.
that specifically for that culture. And this is what we're talking about. Same with when you want to do with African Americans, you want more diversity there. These are these are race swapping roles. Instead of actually featuring stories,
You're telling me you could have done a
so
live action
you're
version.
telling me that there's no African American writers out there that have wrote great stories that you can't bring to the public's attention.
Yeah.
See, this is the difference. When you give someone like Rachel Ziegler Snow White, and let's be honest, she's miscast because of her skin color, right? You're doing that girl a misjustice. Now, she hasn't helped herself with statements that she's come out and made. But why not Disney, you know, as I keep saying, you mean to tell me that there's no American Latino writers out there that have written stories that you can introduce to the wider public?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me there's zero? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's what you do when you gender swap a role, when you race swap a role, and you do all of this nonsense. This is why you're in the position that you're actually in.
Yeah.
People can see right through it. You're not doing it. You're not doing it because you respect these groups, right? And that's the bottom line. You don't, because if you did, you wouldn't be giving them hand-me-down characters.
No, exactly.
Right? You'd be going and you'd be, you know, you'd be looking for stories that represent these people that have been written by these people, and then you introduce them to the general audience, and you keep the characters that have always been the characters the same, and you don't have an issue. But the problem is that we see right through your fakery.
Yeah.
That's why you're tanking. You don't do it for the right reasons. That's why you're, that's what it is. You just don't do it for the right reasons. Nobody's against diversity.
No.
Right? Nobody's against inclusion either.
Yeah.
But you've got to do it properly. And this is a TV show and brings me into a nice little segue to the next one. So Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Robin Hood's getting reimagined, folks. And,
like Saints Row.
now, I'm going to see if I can get it up on screen now. I'm taking a risk here, but wait for a minute. I'm going to save this picture to me. It'd probably be easier to see the email. I'll send it to the email. And then I'll be able to put it up on screen. So I will, yeah. Won't I? Hold on. If I go screen share, present, let's see. So video file, screen share. Yeah, I can do it. Okay, but bear with me because you will have to see this. Because this is absolutely ridiculous. So they're reimagining Robin Hood, folks. But not only are they reimagining Robin Hood, it's for the modern day. And well, you're gonna see why this show is gonna flop hard. Again, you know, if you're not going to tell the Robin Hood story properly and true to the source material, then you shouldn't even be bothered doing it. No. But of course, these people do not care. They will bastardize anything just to try earn some brownie points with the audience that they want to pander to, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Jesus Christ, these people are absolutely like brain dead.
Yeah.
In the industry, they really are. I mean, wake bloody up, wake up. I mean, Disney is about the tank, right? And then you got this. This is on a low budget streaming service, though. So I mean.
Yeah.
maybe that's an excuse to give it, but it's. I think it should be up on the email now. So hold on, I'll get it up. I mean, wait, you see the cat. I mean, they wonder why they're tanking.
Excuse
I
me.
mean, absolutely disgraceful what's going on in the industry, and they're not even doing any of these people justice. Because what's
No.
going to happen is what always happens. They're going to get stick.
Yeah.
Right?
It's going
They're going
to
to get
bomb.
stick. Right? And the reason why they're going to get stick is because it's shit.
Yeah. It's going to be another tax write-off.
Right? Absolutely ridiculous. Why isn't this bleeding? Hold on now. There's something going on here. Send it to the other Gmail account and you're bleeding moron. Sorry, folks. I'm getting a bit.
It's all right, But yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. No, it's just they just want to release this stuff. It's like they're taking what Mussolini said too seriously. If you keep throwing mud, it'll enough will eventually stick. It's like, but I think this is more about than what Einstein said, like Charlotte mentioned. Keep insanity is repeating the same experiment, expecting different results.
Yeah, you can fucking say that again. I mean,
They're just doing this. It's like this is why I think we are in the middle of one of the biggest mental health pandemics that the Western world has ever seen. That's why I was saying earlier about sanitariums. It's like we've got to bring back the sanitariums the way things are going, or sanatoriums, the way things are going, and just start popping them in because it's insane.
I mean, the world is suffering from a mental health crisis. There's no doubt about that. And this pandemic didn't help either when people were in lockdown. And now they're talking about another one. Well, I can tell you now, it's not happening.
Yeah. They're also talking about another global economic recession. It's like, well, how do you think that happened?
Not happening. Not happening. Nobody is going to comply at this time. You're done. People are not going to fall for it. Well, I hope. I say people are not going to fall for it the second time, but you never know with today's. Just because I've got everything on, I'm actually waiting. We're going back to early days of the internet. I'm waiting for this photo to load. So, we could be here for about an hour and a half. Oh no, here we go. We're getting some action here now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, still doing the spinny winny. Oh, there we go. Right. Hopefully I can share this because then that's been a waste of my time.
If not, I'll have to share it from my machine.
All right, hold on. Earbuds. These are pets. You lose them all. Oh, man, it's a con.
I know. I don't use them.
Right. So I want to screen share. There we go. Oh, I can actually share it, I think. There we go. Should come up on screen, hopefully. So here's the cast for the new Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, I've heard about the director to this one. Calls himself an alias.
Right, is it up on screen?
No.
What is going on?
I'm trying to find it now, but it keeps correcting me every time I type in. Oh, I got it. Yeah, it's going to go on Stack TV. I mean, it's one based on a comic. This one's based on a comic book.
Yeah.
That's right. Gary was on about this one about a year or two ago, wasn't he? If I can remember. Like, it's nothing like the comic book it's based on. It's all right. I'll try and. It says it's a one size and it's another size. Thank you, Wikipedia. Oh. We'll get hold of it in a sec. I mean, most people have probably seen it. Yeah, it's based on a comic book, but it's just not the same. It's so bad the director's given himself an alias.
Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties here, so you probably see me on the screen. I'm not actually moving very free. And
Yeah.
this computer is doing all sorts of things there. Okay. Right, let's try that again. I should.
Yeah, and I got problems at the moment. You still there? Oh, it's just me now. Okay, then I'll try and get this up. Yeah. Well, anyways, I think I remember this one quite well, just from memory. This is probably the one that Gary was talking about. I think it was about a year or a year and a half ago, and they turned around and said they're remaking the comic book Robin Hood, but it was a blonde, kind of a blonde bombshell in the real Robin Hood with a Y. But they've just kind of changed. They've kind of race swapped everything again, gender swapped everything. Actually, I haven't gender swapped. They just race swapped this time, and it looks really bad. It's so bad that they've given the lead character the director's taken an alias on this one, and it just sounds really bad. Anyway, I'm trying to get it at the moment. I won't be able to put it up until Noel's back. He's just crashed. Oh, coming up with come on, just give me the picture. Oh, and Google, why are you doing this? You don't want me to have it. Come on, I don't want to see that. I'm trying to find out details. They'll probably all call us Islamphobes for hating on it like they normally do. Diverse cast. It's going to, I can't remember. It's going to Stack TV and Global. I don't think anyone's going to really watch it anyway. You back now, Noel? Oh, there we go. Got something up. Oh, there you are. Can't hear you though, but
Right.
there we go.
Don obvious you can hear me. Right, so there I decided that I'd screen first, then I'd come on. So there you go. There is the cast for the new Robin Hood with a modern twist. And yeah, as PD was talking about there, I mean it's on a stack or some mad app that's
okay, bottom center in that picture, no. She looks like she'd actually be the original Robin Hood from the comic book. The rest of them, no, we know where this is going. I'm just trying to find the names.
They just can't. It's very disrespectful, but
Yeah, John Prince. Oh, it's a white English looking man, John Prince. Yeah, we know where this is going.
So there you go, folks. That's the cast of the new Robin Hood. So I don't know what you guys think, but what I'm gonna say is what I said when they put this post up.
Yeah, the character actually called Officer Pedersen.
It's gonna tank.
Oh my god, this is gonna be another disaster.
It's gonna sink faster than the Titanic.
Yeah. It's going to sink faster than Ocean Gates. What? Too soon?
Right. Before we get any more technical difficulties, I think my sound should be back to some sort of normality. See, this is why I don't screen share until I get a new Chromebook, because this is getting ridiculous now. But we've covered the Ahsoka news. So let's talk about, we'll talk about, So I brought this up very briefly, but Max is going to test CNN news alerts while users are watching movies and TVs, folks. And that comes in from Culture Crave 2 days ago. Okay. So let me get this straight. We got the TV model that do that, but streaming services that came along were unique because we didn't have any of that.
That was the whole point.
Straight through. So now you're telling us, elbow.
You all right?
So now you're telling us, we're going to do exactly what the TV do because we need to generate more revenue, because basically we're making shit TV, so we've got to find a ways of making more money. Instead of actually making good shit where you wouldn't have to do this. But this is a terrible idea, isn't
Oh,
it, PD?
dude,
You're
yeah,
watching one,
yeah,
you're showing an ad pops up, man.
yeah. Now they're turning around saying, "Oh no, hang on a minute, hang on. This is not what we're going to do. We're going to start showing films on CNN." And they're completely trying to reverse this, but that's what we know what they originally said. If they do this, people are just going to tune straight out. So if you can understand them doing like Channel 4 and all that, doing it in the middle of a film when the Queen passed away, God rest her soul, kind of thing, but not this the whole time. It's just, people just get sick. Not on Max, not when they're trying to watch on a dedicated channel.
But it's CNN.
Yeah, CNN as well, which is the worst. I don't know why David Hasselhoff has not reformed CNN. It's like he's actually quite libertarian, but he wants the most liberal channel on the planet, if you know what I mean. It's like, why is the most libertarian, one of the most libertarian people in Hollywood, running the most liberal news channel? I would have, if I was the second I walked in, I would have gone, "That's it, you got to be more like GB News now," and just literally changed it overnight, But it's ridiculous, really is. I don't know, no. I don't know. I wouldn't watch it. It's just annoying me.
Yeah, it's and this is why the industry is tanking. They're just not learning.
They're not learning.
Their
Double
lessons.
down, triple down. It's the same. They're trying the same experiment and repeat the same experiment, which is just insanity.
I used to have a little bit, I'd say a little tiny bit of sympathy for the way the industry was going, and I thought the people within it, some of them obviously weren't complicit in all of this, but it's clear that it's almost everybody in the industry now. So I don't actually have sympathy. I mean, you've got the latest writer strikes. I'm not going to talk about that program on here. So yeah, we'll just leave it there. But you can talk about it in the chat, but I'm just not making a comment on it. But all I will say is I did see what he said, and I agree with people in the chat. But we'll leave it there and leave it at that. So I'm not getting into that again. But let's move on to the Rings of Power.
God.
Obviously, so the rumor is the Lord of the Rings of Power producers and editors arguing over cutting Numerians and the Elven stories for season 2. And I'm sorry if I didn't say that right.
Numenorian. It's fine.
Numenorians. Sorry. Numenorians there.
Numenor.
Numenor. Right, so apparently they've been having a little scrap at each other, right? But there's more. Hold on, there's more. Where is this other article here? We might as well kill two birds with one stone. The Rings of Power, New Mordor origin story actually fits with Tolkien's Lord of the Rings mythology.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to talk about these producers?
Not really, but we're gonna have to do it anyway. It sounds like another stupid decision.
Oh, and that comes in from Bounding into Comics, by the way.
That's not one of John Trent's, yeah. One of John Trent's.
Shout out to John, who's on this as he's pulls on the Rings of Power. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
But season 1 did cause an awful lot of controversy. There was the Tolkien estate are people behind the social medias, blocking people left, right, and center. Even calling the writer a racist. I mean, are you surprised that they're arguing with each other? I mean, there's so much of that universe, and it's so heavily packed that, I mean, if they're fighting with each other, obviously they haven't got a clue what they're doing, PD.
Exactly,
This needed to be done properly. And Jeff Bezos actually said, do you remember when he got...
Oh, yeah.
He said that
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but he also said that his kid would go mad if he screwed it up. Like, well, you screwed it up.
It's probably stabbed him a couple of times.
So,
I
so
think to go.
did your kid give you grief or what? Or
Yeah.
I mean, I I
yeah.
I had no interest in that show.
Yeah.
So
His kids probably refused to clean his space rocket. Oh god, that could be taken in two multiple ways. But yeah, I mean, they went and fired Tom Shippey, didn't they? Who's like who's the Tolkien scholar, and that's was the first mistake, the first and last mistake I think they made. I mean, I've seen clips from this show. I just don't want to watch it. It's just horrible. It's just It's just the Galadriel warrior princess, and Galadriel was never a warrior princess. She was more of a sorcerer operating in the background, as everyone would know. I mean, they just ruined everything they touch in this show. They ruined. They made it just look stupid. I mean, the whole Numenor thing. It's like, oh my god, you kind of ruined Numenor. Yeah, the same as Daniel. I would love to see it. Well, it acts the entire show, not just a few bits from the show. Yeah, I feel the same way. But yes, I mean the whole thing. It's just it's absolutely unworkable. And now they're fighting with each other. It just shows how bad it's got.
yeah.
I mean, I just think let's just put this one. This is another show that they've turned radioactive and needs to go in a lead casket for 10 years. Sadly, they've had all this money, all that money they spent on this show. It's one of the most expensive shows in Hollywood. TV shows. It's terrible.
Yeah. And then you see shows like House of the Dragon that had a lesser budget, but obviously looked a lot better, and the acting was better. And people were saying, when they seen some of the castings, they obviously jumped the gun on it. And a lot of people were skeptical after the first episode. I even remember the first episode, everybody was saying, oh, look, they gave it the Game of Thrones, Mills, you're not going to film me. And then by the second episode, everybody was in.
Yeah.
I mean, it just blew everybody away. I don't think anybody expected it to be that good. But fair play to, well, they were HBO Max. Fair play to them. I hope they just don't, like people say, well, we all know where it's going to lead. And I get it, right? The last season of Game of Thrones was rubbish. But if this is a prequel, and if this is good, we should just support it. I know where it leads, but it's obviously not going to go there in the show because they have Game of Thrones, so it'll end where Game of Thrones started. So don't be worrying about it. Just block out the last season anyway. It's all good. People get too worked up over this. Listen. It was a disaster, right? The end of Game of Thrones, but let's.
Oh yeah, I completely skipped the last season. I mean, I quite like season 7, but there was a lot of faults and mistakes in it, as everyone's pointed out.
Of course it was.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell when George left. You can just tell. It was after season 6. Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. Anyway,
right. Let us see. So, what have we got next? Oh yeah, Jodie Whittaker can't make Comic-Con. That's conflicting yokes. Karen Gillan, just in case, 2 hours. London Comic-Con announced she'll be there on, London Comic-Con's from the 11th to the 12th of November, and Karen Gillan will be there. So any fans of Karen Gillan, there you go. So I might as well give that a shout out because we do
she's
like
great. She is Karen.
We do like Karen on this channel. We do.
She's nice. She's nice.
Yeah, and she doesn't get involved in any of the drama, which is good as well.
Did you see the pictures of her with Sophie? They were brilliant. In a pub. Her and Sophie being up. They're all over it. They're all like thick as thieves. It's brilliant. Yeah. She's nice.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've seen very early on with that particular actor that's taken the role now that he's very cursy. And I did say at the time when I was talking about it that it was inappropriate behavior, especially that someone's heading a family show. But unfortunately, it seems that's gone all out the window now under
Yeah.
RTD's second regime.
Yeah.
So
Do you
that's
remember
all
John
I'll say. on it.
Barrowman doing this on Torchwood? Because I can't.
No.
He was really well behaved at all the photo shoots and all that. I mean, okay, yeah, he dressed a bit inappropriately for Comic Cons, but that was John being John. But it's like
Nobody really gave a shit back then.
No, it was just John being John. But this is it's like Shooty trying to up the ante on what John Barrowman did, just messing it up completely. It's just don't do that on a kids show. I mean, did David Tennant, did Peter Capaldi, did even Jodie Whittaker? Nope.
Mm.
So why is Shooty allowed to do it? That's my attitude. It's like, rules for thee, not for me again. Double standards behind the scene. It's down at down at what do you call it? Bad Wolf. Yeah.
Actually, Disney were asked about Doctor Who anyway, and they said Doctor Who will be fine. It'll do its own thing. I don't think that's necessary. With Disney in the state that it's in right now, and they're even cancelling their own TV shows and taking them off their streaming service. I just don't know how that can survive on Disney Plus. But it does seem to be a strategy with Disney Plus now, is that they seem to be getting these IPs, these franchises, and paying money to show them on rather than make these shows for themselves, and that's how Disney is completely bankrupt when it comes to creativity.
They shouldn't have bought Fox. That's my opinion. Shouldn't have bought Fox.
No,
that's what the big mistake was, that because they got a lot of kind of high end, kind of more adult franchises with Fox, and they're not going to be able to do it. They're trying to bring Predator back. They're trying to bring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator back for some reason. Doing a sequel.
Yeah, but if they do it R-rated, look. Did they have the off-brand that does the R-rated stuff?
Yeah,
they can do it, and they can do it well, and they have done it well in the past. See, this is the thing.
Prey was good. Prey was good.
That's what I know. That movie gets stick. Listen,
we were all dreading Prey.
Right?
Brilliant.
Oh, she's going to be like a Super A Mary Sue. Sure, she wasn't.
No,
she had to get help off her brother or whoever he was. I forget. And all the way through, she was learning as she was going along. It was absolute. I love that movie, man.
Oh, Prey was.
And
good,
I consider it part. Yeah, and I consider it part of the franchise. I know some people had issues. The real die-hard Predator fans, they have issues with the mask and
yeah, but it was a feral Predator.
But right, fair enough. Okay, but the movie itself, I thought was very well made. I was dreading that, like you, mate. I thought that I was like, will you stop, man? Predator 1 and 2 was great. You don't need another. But I sat there one night.
Before. That's why I was put off. It was terrible.
I sat there one night though, and I whacked it on PD, and I tell you, man, I fucking enjoyed it. I had lovely bit of tension and all going through it, like the old movies. I loved it. And now they're thinking of doing another one in another time period. And I think it's great, man. I think it's a good idea. And I think there's books and comic books that they've done.
Yeah.
So they're kind of following that. So go for it, I say.
Yeah.
Once it's done properly.
I understand, but it's Disney, though. It's like you've got butterflies in your chest where it's like, what are they going to do this time?
True. I mean, it is Disney, and we all have to be, very...
With Disney, when Disney kind of, you've got to believe it when you see it, if you know what I mean. So you've got to kind of reserve judgment until you actually see it.
Actually, we do have, I seen it earlier on, I didn't put it as part of the main topics because we've got the main topics just wrapped up anyway. As I said, there's not much with all of this writer strike going on, but they did make an announcement about the Batman 2, if I'm correct in saying so. I'm just going into Twitter real quickly. So let me see. I can hear me in the background. PD, have you got me up in the background there?
No. I'm on headphones, mate. So it's only headphone bleed, but shouldn't be.
So the Batman Part 2 is filmed in March 2024, and apparently Clayface to be involved. And this is the poster that they've put up. So instead of the red Batman, they've gone blue this time.
Oh, I see.
The Batman Part 2. Now,
Okay.
I'm going to say something. I didn't look. A lot of people blew smoke up that film's ass. It was an average Batman movie as far as I'm concerned. But don't get me wrong, Robert Patterson, I should say, did surprise me. And, you know, he's okay as Batman. It's just the movie he was in. For me, the problem was I couldn't see anything that was going on because it was too dark, the movie, right, for starters. And also the scenes, and I can kind of get where they were going with it. I hope the second movie is not as harsh when it comes to the darkness, because I want to be actually able to see Batman fucking fight. Like, do you know what I mean? So he did well. Look, he did well. He did okay. I just wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but I am willing to see what they do with the second one. I am. I'll give him a chance and see what he does with the second one. But the second one has to be a huge improvement, in my opinion. And let's be honest, bar The Dark Knight, I mean, name a better DC sequel. I think it's very hard.
Yeah. It's probably they've rebooted it so many times now. It's like, what iteration of Batman are we gonna get this time? Is it going to be an origin story?
Right, I'll tell you what I'll do, folks. For the last few minutes, I will read out your comments. So if there's anything you want us to talk about really quickly, let us know. If you have a comment on that we discussed tonight, please throw it up on screen and I'll throw it in the chat and we will read it out. We do have a few comments in there, PD Rich, so I'll go back up there and let's see. Karen Gillen, blue tick like my Facebook reply the other day, says garbage. Absolutely fantastic, man. That's nice, man. I'm delighted for you. Little things like that make fans dance, and I like that.
Fan service.
Nicholas says she's also a lovely redhead. I mean, nobody can deny that Karen Gillan is pretty. Just remember, John is John in the Five-ish Doctors reboot. Says garbage. We got Matt the Silent Music King says 2 of the parallel universes visitors. Why is this happening? 2 of my parallel universes versions of the Doctor were alternate Tennant and Smith, says Matt's Silent Music King. That's a good name. Scott Stavros and Friends Vessel of Pop Culture says she's probably one of the only past cast members of that trash I still respect. Look, I got to be honest. Look, I'm angry with the show right now. I'm angry with RTD. I will go through with this boycott, but it wasn't trash back in the day. I hate the way fans say that. It wasn't trash back in the day.
Well, no, we just had our expectations.
Okay, everybody is just angry with it, but it wasn't trash back in the day. It wasn't. I'm sorry. The RTD era was great, and some of the Steve era was decent. You know, and there's no point in denying that because we're angry right now. I don't think that's the way we should be going on about it. You know, it meant a lot to us all. You know, it's a hard switch to switch off. But I wouldn't say it was trash. It wasn't. It was far from trash. Disney take any movie, any franchise, and destroy it. I agree. Nicholas says, as an anime fan, I hope the Battle Angel Alita sequel doesn't go woke. Seeing that it's under Disney now, I'll be pissed if they do. I just said pissed. I just filled in the blanks for you, but I'm pretty sure that's how you'd be feeling. Pissed.
Get away with it on the stream.
One day Disney will rule the world. I don't look forward to permanently watching Frozen. Nah, that's not going to happen, mate. The company is on the verge of collapse.
I think they just let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's more than an actor to play Robin than a Batman, says Nicholas
Make a good
Horton
Robin.
in regards to Robert Patterson. But that actually
Yeah.
is a good show, I would have to say. I'm not going to talk about him. I'm not going to talk about him. And
Yeah, we acknowledge your
there,
point, though. We acknowledge it, Henry, but we're just not going to talk about it.
yeah, I'm just not going to talk about it. But you know, listen, you know, fans will find different things in relation to that show that fans do that will keep them entertained. And I would say support those fans that are creating their own content and creating their own media like that, because you know, most of the time, well, I'd say the majority of the time, they're far superior writers than what we're getting right now. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
actually sad the
It
state
is.
the industry is in. So we got 2.5 minutes. So we just want to throw in some quick fire questions, or PD, if there's anything else you would like to add before we finish up tonight. Remember, guys, for anybody that likes football or soccer, for you Americans, I am going to be over on my other channel now in a few minutes' time to do the last hour of the transfer window. So come and join me for that, because I'm probably going to need a few beers for the last hour, because I can imagine that we've done no more business and I'm going to be crying. Anyway, PD, anything else you would like to?
I kind of heard from Yellow Flash that they're thinking about doing they're pretty much going to greenlight She-Hulk series 2. Oh well, that's going to be another lawsuit from the investors, I think. What the hell? It's like repeating the same experiment again, expecting different results.
Right.
It still turns it green.
This is the same company that has been accused of manipulating their box office numbers by buying up cinema seats.
Yeah.
Right? This is the same net company now that has been accused by the shareholders of even manipulating the ratings. The people that are actually tuning into their shows in streaming services. And the green these people just don't learn.
That's stupid.
Look, that's where they are. They're stupid. But look
really
at it, guys. Our transfer window has been a shambles. It has, Henry, but come over and join me anyway, so you can see me rant over there, because I already did 2 streams over there today on the transfer window. So thank you everybody that's tuned in so far. But come and join me in 15 minutes, because we're going to be doing the last hour. We'll see what business everybody does, and then I'll give you Premier League predictions. So yeah, very busy day today. I've actually streamed. It'll be my 4th stream when I leave here. So I've been very busy today. I've got a member stream over the weekend as well for you guys on here that are members. So if you're not a member and you want to come and join for member streams where I'm a little bit more loose-tongued, because obviously it's a member stream. Here you have to be kind of careful, but member streams you still kind of have to be careful, but you get away with a lot more because it's a nice little community in there. So you know, there's no bullshit going on, or people in the chat like, oh, I had a visitor just before we leave. I had a visitor that used to visit this channel that stalks everybody on Twitter. You all know who I'm talking about, and they showed up in the chat on the new channel. Guess what I did? I blocked that fucker straight away. I'm not having that shit. So if you're listening and you know who you are, right? Had you messing on this channel for 5.5 years, you're not going to do it over there. You've been blocked now. So don't even attempt to start stalking me over there, because I'm not going to tolerate it no more. I'm done with this bullshit, right? So you can move on, you little clown, because I don't talk about Doctor Who anymore. So go and move on now and bother someone fucking else. I've got bigger fish to fry in this country. All right? Anyway, let me see. Arcane Season 2 has been confirmed. to premiere sometime in late 2024. I did actually see that as well. And there you go. PD has put me channel in because he's an absolute fucking legend. And he's an absolute fucking legend for stepping up these last couple of weeks, because he's had to obviously, talk a lot. But God love him, when me and Lee are on, he hardly gets a word in edgeway. So it's balanced itself out. But Lee is still under the weather at the moment. As you know, he caught the coof, but he is on the mend. He's just right now, what he is I think he's gotten over the main symptoms, but he's just feeling tired all the time. It's drained him.
I had that.
Yeah. So it's going to take him, because I did get a comment in the comment section from Unknown, who was an Unknown. I think it was Unknown, who was wondering where Lee was. Lee hasn't gone anywhere. Lee's just unwell at the moment, folks. So we haven't had a falling out or anything like that. Or just in case anybody is starting to get suspicious, right? He's just sick, and he's being a bit under the weather, and he's feeling a bit tired, and it's understandable.
That's when it hits you the first time, Noel, it's quite, I know it's bad.
That's what I mean. It gets,
it's easier the more you get it.
Seriously, the first time, bang, it's horrible. So he'll be fine. He'll be back when he's up to it. But in the meantime, me and PD will steer you through all the way until they come back. And remember, Chris is the return as well when his schedule changes in the autumn. And we'll have him back as well. And then there'll be 4 of us on here. And we will have, obviously, hopefully by then, well, I'm not hoping that the writer's strike ends, because I want them all to lose their jobs so to bring in proper talent. But you know what I mean? Maybe then we might have some move in the industry and you start making stuff again, and then we could start slagging off Jimmy Kimmel and all of these other assholes like we were, because, I kind of have missed it since this writer's strike. I think everybody has. There's nothing wrong with it now. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of a rant once in a while, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
And there she is, the apple of my eye. Anyway, thank you, Nicholas. Really appreciate that. You enjoy the rest of your weekend, mate. And I will see you over the weekend, because we will have a members stream. So, PD, do you want to tell everybody where you will be this week or this weekend or next week?
You'll normally find me in the chat or moderating the Rabbi's stream. Sometimes when he needs a hand, I always go and help Dan as a guest, or if he needs a specialist for someone. And other times I'm here with Noel, so, and do support Jack and Gobby, or the Gobster as he calls himself now.
He calls himself the Gobster now.
Yeah.
Go and check it out. Yeah, getting confusing with the rebrand, but he's got there. Also, I'm over on the other channel now in literally 5 minutes, so get your asses over there if you're football fans. I'll probably see Daniel there, maybe JWC and maybe Henry, because Henry's a Man U fan as well. So get over there and join me there. PD, thank you for joining me, mate. And I will see you next week, pal. Thank you. No bother at all. To everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us. Don't forget, I nearly forgot again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Helps in the algorithm. Our numbers are starting to go back up again, right? Because as you know, when we announced we were doing boycotts and all, people left, but it seems like some have come back because we've gained more. So it's good to see you all back. So don't forget to leave a comment, because I do check the comments, and if you've got anything to say or got an opinion, leave it there and I'll get back to you and leave it there for you folks. Right, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm off now to do my fourth stream of the evening, but that's the way it goes when you do YouTube, full time. But yeah, anyway. Hopefully the trailer plays in one go now, folks. Right. So fingers crossed. Oh, I said I was going to knock my camera off first, didn't I? So I'll do that now.
Just in case.
Right, hold on. I'll play this trailer because the missus is hovering, so something's up.
Okay. Yep.